After we've cut out our letter, we want to put our pieces so we understand that it's going to be facing this way. The next thing we need to do is, if you see here, we need to get the depth of our letter. So if you look at 3D, you have the x-axis, the y-axis, and the z-axis, which gives it its depth. We're using these Dixie cups for that. Again, if my letter is facing the right way, you can begin putting your cups on. All we're doing is taking one cup, pressing it onto our glue sponge, and you can start fitting these around your letter. So fill in all these spaces. If you have a little tight area, you're welcome to cut the cup. But for the most part, you just want to get the wide spaces. We're just looking at giving it that depth again. So after you get all your cups around, you can then put the top on. And all I would suggest doing is taking this little sponge brush, putting a little glue, and then when you're done, put the top on all of the cups. So you'll have that. All right. So again, you have cups spacing everything out. The next part we need to worry about is taping up our seams. So we have tape, it's packing tape, which is going to go right across the outside edge of your letter. To begin, you need to take this piece of packing tape and we need to cut sections. Each section is going to be 4 inches long. So if you want, you can make a mark at 4 inches and cutting that, you know that's 4 inches. You don't need to measure again. You can just use the same one as your template and just begin to cut these. You'll want probably like 25 of these. You don't have to be perfect, but again, you want them to be at least 4 inches long. Okay. So after you have these, you can begin putting them onto here. We're going to use just a sponge with some water, and this has adhesive on it. It's a glue. So you'll press the side that's shiny, again that's shiny, onto your sponge, and then you can place it on the edge. I like to press it down a little, then bring it across and press this other side down. That way it just makes this edge nice for you before we apply the plaster of Paris. You want to overlap a little bit, that way you don't have an open edge like so. You want to give it a little bit of overlap. So we're going to keep going, and I'll start with pressing here and lapping over this way and pressing. And it sticks rather quickly. It's very sticky. On the corners, what I would suggest is you may need to find a corner. If you've ever made a bed in your life, there's ways to, there's ways to tuck in the corner. So you want to get the large side first, like so. So I got this distance here. Then, if you cut a little line, like so, you can fold those corners down. And that will give you a good edge. So again, get the main piece across and then cut your corner so you can fold those corners in. And you can continue on. If there's a little gap, that's fine, because again, the plaster of Paris will go over all that. But if I want to get one section, bring it across to the other side, and now I have this extra sticking out. So all I need to do is cut along that corner and this corner, and that's going to give me the tabs I need to fold down. If you have a little tight area, say inside of the D, you're welcome to maybe cut this down into a longer so that you can fit it a little easier once you get to that point. But again, we need to do all of this here.